Hi everyone. So this isn't going to be my normal type of video, this is going to be me finding anywhere between 1 and 4 different stories, finding different sources for each individual story, gathering all the relevant information, writing a script, and giving my opinions on each individual story. If you enjoy it, please leave a comment. If you don't enjoy it, please leave a comment. Hope you enjoy the video and have a good day. On or around February 25th, 2019, a 23-year-old man named Brighton Turner was eating at Casa Vallarta, a Mexican restaurant located in Falmouth, Massachusetts. During his time in the restaurant, he was approached by Roseanne Santos, a 41-year-old female resident of Falmouth. Ms. Santos later can be seen on video apparently removing Brighton Turner's Make America Great Again hat. As a result of this incident, Mrs. Santos was confronted by police officers who would later charge her for disorderly conduct as well as assault and battery. Additionally, during her arrest, the bartender Gio Macaro said Mrs. Santos attempted to take another swipe at Mr. Turner while she was being escorted out of the establishment by police officers. When questioned as to whether or not Mr. Turner did anything to provoke Mrs. Santos, the bartender said no. No, he just walked in and ordered his food. This statement, however, seemingly conflicts with the belief of Emmanuel Santos, that despite not being there himself during the incident, his wife must have been provoked. He went further as to state that being a foreigner, you go through a lot. She's been through a lot in her life. She felt as though she had to stand up for herself and for other people. He went on saying, "You wore that hat going to a Mexican restaurant. I think you were trying to provoke some people. If he shot that video himself, I don't think he would shoot it when he was saying the things he was saying." Finally, he went on to say that his wife has 2 teenage kids from a previous marriage and that she does missionary work for a local church on Cape Cod. Mrs. Santos would later be transferred into the custody of ICE after her arrest revealed that she was indeed an illegal immigrant from Brazil who had overstayed a 1994 tourist visa. Now on to my opinions. Mrs. Santos was an absolute moron who went out and apparently harassed an individual simply because she didn't like his hat. Simply because Mr. Turner decided to wear a MAGA hat while eating at a Mexican restaurant, apparently she felt as though she had the authority, no, the right, to go up to this complete stranger and act like a freaking inept child. No, Mrs. Santos, you never have the right to lay so much as a singular finger on another human being simply because you don't like their choice of attire. Additionally, you're a moron because you should have known full well that as someone who had overstayed your tourist visa, you really should have known that doing things that would result in police officers taking an interest in you, that's stupid. Because of your own actions, you are now facing charges for disorderly conduct as well as assault and battery. Because of your own actions, you might actually be deported. All of this is simply because you couldn't contain your anger towards an inanimate object and decided to inappropriately interact with the individual wearing that object. According to your husband, you have 2 teenage kids from a previous marriage, and now they might have to deal with not having their mother around, simply because you behaved like a child. I'm not gonna say a word about Mr. Turner because he most likely is just trying to defend his wife, even though she is a stupid person. On February 25th, 2019, just before 3:30 p.m. at a ShopRite located in Somerset, New Jersey, an altercation occurred between an 81-year-old man and a 19-year-old Ryan M. Salvano. According to authorities, Mr. Salvano confronted the 81-year-old man about his Make America Great Again hat as the elderly individual exited the New Jersey supermarket. Mr. Salvano then reportedly attempted to yank the hat off the 81-year-old man's head by force, after the elderly individual tried to walk away, prompting a struggle over the hat which resulted in Mr. Salvano throwing the man to the ground. Mr. Salvano then proceeded to forcibly tip over the man's cart and throw the red MAGA hat aside. The victim had minor injuries but refused medical treatment according to an NBC affiliate. Mr. Salvano was arrested and charged with low-level charges of assault and harassment. He is scheduled for arraignment on March 14th, 2019. Now for my opinions, the fun part. If this is genuinely true and Ryan Salvano thought he had the right to try and forcibly remove the hat off someone else simply because he didn't like the hat, he needs to be smacked repeatedly. Not only that, but to throw an elderly person to the ground simply because they didn't let you take their property. You're absolute filth. Honestly, you're absolute filth. Your parents either didn't raise you right or you didn't listen to them, because you're a pathetic excuse for a human being. I don't care if the person is a complete jagwagon in your mind. You do not throw anyone to the ground and damage their property just because you don't like them or like what they're wearing. I sincerely hope your stay in jail teaches you to man the hell up and not behave like a child throwing a tantrum. And to Mr. Salvano's parents, I'm sorry you have to deal with such a pathetic son. On or around March 8th, 2019, in Martin County, Florida, surveillance video from a Martin County school bus shows Dolores Metheny, a bus aide, yelling at a student and demanding that the student remove his Make America Great Again hat, only to end up forcibly yanking it off, the student said herself. Gunnar Johansson, the 14-year-old student that was wearing the MAGA hat, stated that students were permitted to wear a hat to school this week if they had made a donation to the March of Dimes. On a side note, the March of Dimes is a United States nonprofit organization that works to improve the health of mothers and babies, and receives donations from a number of schools and school-related clubs across the country. Mr. Johansson stated that he decided to wear the Make America Great Again hat in particular to, quote, "to show my pride in Trump America." The incident sparked a review from the Martin County School Board and an investigation from the Martin County Sheriff's Office. Investigators from the office concluded that the bus aide's actions were politically motivated when she demanded that the teen remove his hat before forcibly removing it from his head herself. As a result of her actions, Miss Metheny was suspended from her job for 4 days without pay and, according to school officials, must undergo professional development, which could include sensitivity training as part of her discipline. That's the end of the story. On to my opinions. Just a 4-day suspension is a little bit iffy when it comes to yelling at a student and unjustly removing their hat simply because you don't like it, just because the hat hurts your fifis and you can't bear to see it for the time that it takes the school bus to go to the campus. That's all you have to see it. You don't even have to stare at it. Just look out a freaking window. How absolutely pathetic must you be to have a job in which you interact with dozens of students, to be a fully grown adult, but the moment you see a red piece of material on someone's head that you don't like, you start yelling and have to rip it off their head. Dolores, you're sad. Get some help.